everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Zeus X by GeekVape. This is a dual coil 25 millimeter RTA. It does have top airflow, so it's virtually leak proof unless like you're gonna dip it upside down and yeah, things like that. But virtually it is leak proof. It does have the drop-in type of build deck, which I really like, and pretty easy to build on and wick. So I'm gonna take you down, we're gonna take a look at it, and we're gonna put a build in it, and then we're gonna come back up and talk more about it. So the Zeus X by GeekVape. Okay, so here we are with the packaging for the Zeus X by GeekVape. This is the package that it comes in. It does have all the social media here. It tells you what's included in the kit on the back, and then that's it. And then you can open it up, and the packaging, you're gonna get your Zeus X RTA. They do come in a variety of colors. You get this GeekVape information. This is just going to give you some information on other products. Of course, your purchase information and warranty information as well. And then you're also going to be getting a user manual. Now in the user manual, it's going to give you all more of the specifics as to like the how to take it apart. It's going to tell you how to fill it. It's going to give you some wicking information here, and it does come in a number of languages. You're also going to be getting a spare glass. The one that actually comes on the RTA is the bubble glass, which holds 4.5 mils of e-liquid. You will also have the option for a straight glass. This does hold 3.5 mils of e-liquid. Then you're going to get this extra baggie. This extra baggie has an extra 810 drip tip. This is a little bit taller than the one that's currently installed. You're also going to get a tri-tool. You're also going to get an Allen key, a 510 drip tip adapter, and some Allen key grub screws. In addition to that, they're going to give you a set of coils and some cotton with the little shoestring thing. You're going to get 4 pieces of cotton, which I think is really nice. And then, of course, your Zeus X RTA. So starting from the top, this does have an 810 drip tip, but the drip tip is a little bit snug because of the fact that it is kind of like low profile. It is a little bit snug and kind of hard to get out. I just lightly do this and it comes right out. So this is what the drip tip looks like. And on the inside, it's really deep bored, but it does have an O-ring on the inside. So any of your drip tips that you usually like that are 810 size can fit on the top. You've also got top airflow. This top airflow is on a stopper, so whatever you do to one side will happen to the other, so I do like that. If you notice, I do have the rainbow. It does come in stainless steel, rainbow, gunmetal, matte black, blue, and red. Your top fill is actually a quarter of a turn or a half a turn, about a quarter to a half a turn. It's got little notches here, which actually fit into the little notches right there. If you fit it nicely and you turn it, it's barely even a half a turn. It does have 2 fill ports, but these are kind of small. But the good thing is that it's got like this extra little catch cup here. So any e-liquid that you do spill out of it will actually go into here and then go back into your juice flow. So I really like that. You've also got top airflow, and this top airflow actually angles down a bit. When it angles down, I'm going to show you from the inside what it looks like. It does have a protruding 510 drip tip, and it does say Zeus here and designed by GeekVape. I think it's really nicely machined. You can actually see the colors and everything on the bottom. When you do release the bottom, just unscrew the deck. You can do this when it's filled and when it's not, and then you've got your deck here. At this point, you can actually change out your glass if you like to, and then you've got this little inner chamber. And then you've got the regular chamber. Now here on this regular chamber, I did want to show you. See, your airflow is actually going to go on a slant. Then it's going to come out here, and it's actually going to go inside here in between that, which you can see on the inside, and this inner chamber. When it fits in between it, which is going to be in this part here, it doesn't come all the way down, but it does go into those honeycomb airflows. Honeycomb airflow is key, especially for smooth and non-turbulent vaping. I feel like it's key, and this actually has it. Now, this actually fits right in here, but it doesn't screw down, so all you do is just literally just put it in there. If you notice, there are 2 notches. Those notches actually fit in the deck to keep your airflow always hitting your coils, which I think is a fantastic idea because we always try to get our airflow to match up with the coils, so I think that's perfect. It does have the conical style of inside chamber, so that is going to also enhance the flavor, as well as these honeycomb air ports. So all you have to do is just literally just slap it on there, put your glass on. Now when you are replacing or building on your deck and you do have juice in here, just be careful that you don't knock this loose, because it is a little bit loose, so the glass can come off. But otherwise, I haven't really had any issues with that because I'm used to doing it. And then of course comes your deck. Now this is a really, really nice deck. It is a Posta style drop-in type of deck. It is a drop-in style type of deck. You've got your positive post here, your negative post here. You've got your flathead screws already in here, but it does come with grub screws if you want to change those out, if you like grub screws better. You've got your wicking channels right here, and under here, these, being that this is like a postless deck, you do want to go ahead and pre-cut your leads. If you've got something like the coily tool, which I will be using, it actually makes things a lot easier, but they do say that you can actually trim your leads in here. Unfortunately, with the clippers that I have, they don't really fit in here, so I'm not going to be able to show you that, but I am going to go ahead and pre-cut my leads. Again, your wicking channels are right here, and if you notice, there's actually a little catch cup on the bottom. It's sort of like an RDTA, if you will, or a Genesis RDTA, or a Genesis style. So what you want to do is you want to have your wicks peeking out the bottom. They don't have to touch the bottom of the deck, but you do want them peeking out the bottom into here so that you can, it'll wick proficiently. So we're going to go ahead and put a build on this, and yeah, so let's get started. So I've gone ahead and loosened all the flathead screws. So this is what it looks like when all the screws are actually fully open. And for today's coils, I'm actually going to be using my fuse Claptons from Coil Cloud. These are basically my favorite, especially in RDTAs. They just work so well. Mine are actually 3mm in diameter coils, and those seem to work perfectly for me. So that's what I'm going to use. To get these coils, or even a coily tool, you can actually go to coilcloud.com, and if you use the code Wendy, you get 10% off. This is what the coily tool looks like. This is absolutely imperative if you're going to be doing any type of postless kind of cutting. This is the greatest tool because it makes it so much easier. And what you can do to determine which size you're going to use is if you just line this up with your deck, it's going to actually show you like which ones to use. So I'm actually going to be using, this one's a little bit harder because the notch is in it, but I'm actually going to go ahead and slide it over this way so I can actually see when it lines up with that deck or with the height that I want it, that's going to be the size that I want. So being that it actually lines up perfectly right here, it's actually flush, I'm going to use the 4.5. So you can use this side or you can use this side if you've got a post. So I really like that. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put my leads in the 4.5 like this. And I'm just going to turn this over, get my cutters, and just go ahead and cut my leads. It just makes it so much easier. I love this tool. I'm so happy it came out. It made the guessing game a lot easier. And then that's one coil, and then I'll go ahead and do the other one. Just put that one in there as well. Flip it over and go ahead and cut my leads. There we go, and cut this one. And now I've got two coils already pre-cut. So what I'm gonna do is just grab my favorite screwdriver so that we can go ahead and put this in there. And again, you've got your positive and negative. You do wanna make sure that you've got one leg on either side. So I'm just going to put it in like this and just drop it in there. See, it's right in there. And then screw that down. Of course, my finger is going to be in the way. These batteries are really, really good. My screwdriver always goes to them. And then we'll straighten it up afterwards, so that's not a problem. And lift them up just a little bit. So make sure that's in there nice and tight. And then put the other side in. Just literally just drop them in. That's why I like these type of decks. You literally just drop it in and go. And now it does come with coils. I prefer to use my own because a lot of times the coils that come with these devices, it doesn't say what materials are on them. That's why I like to use my own coils because I know exactly what they're made out of and how they're made and who makes them. That way I don't have any guessing games. So what we're gonna do now is just go ahead and line this up with my deck. like that. And then do this side here, just stand it up. Just a little bit right there. And make this one a little bit even right there. You always want to make sure that your coils are not touching the deck and they're not touching each other. What I'm going to do is actually just line this up just a little bit better, like that, and like that. And then it looks like when they're all done, so we're going to go ahead and dry fire them now. Get my ceramic tweezers. I'm going to do is just pull it out just a little bit. This usually helps them heat up just a little bit faster. And you can always pinch those too. And pinch, pinch, and pinch. You definitely want to make sure all the hot spots are out. And again, you want to make sure that your coils are not touching the deck or each other. So I'm getting that little hot spot out there. A little bit more. Okay, and there we go. We're all ready to go. So let me let those cool down and then I'll grab some cotton and we'll wick this baby up. And then for today's cotton, I'm actually going to be using my Kendo Vape Cotton Gold Edition. I've actually gone ahead and already cut a piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and break that right in half. And just start twisting one side up. Okay. I'm going to push that in and take this through. And you want it to be snug in the coil, not too tight where it's actually moving your coil, but you definitely want your cotton snug in the coil. That'll prevent any type of spit back that you might get. I haven't had any with this RTA, but I have heard of some people saying that they had spit back. And my suggestion is always to make sure that your cotton is just a little bit thicker within your coil so that it'll reduce that. So I'm going to do is just grab my scissors now, and I'm going to cut it to the outside of this deck right here. So right to the outside, and then on this side as well, right to the outside. Okay, a little bit shorter here. Okay, and then what I like to do is take my handy dandy tweezers and I'm just going to fluff it out. You do need to fluff it out a little bit because if not, then both pieces of cotton will not fit in the little wicking channels. So I do go ahead and do that and then cut it again. Same place. There you go. And now you should be able to go ahead and put that right in there. Put that one in. There we go. Now again, you want them in there, but you don't want them to like literally be laying on the deck. So you just want to make sure that they are in there. Once I juice it up, it'll actually make it stay a little bit better. But there is some peeking through the bottom. And then do the same on this side. You don't want to stuff them in there. If you stuff it in there, it's not going to wick very well. And thin that out. Get my scissors. There. I'll go ahead and put that one in. There you go. Get all the wispies out. And again, it is peeking inside the deck. There you go. And that's what it looks like all wicked up. So let me go ahead and get some juice and then we're gonna go ahead and wick up this baby. We're gonna be using this Pecan Sequence by Adore E-Liquid. I'm really liking this flavor. So what we wanna do is go ahead and prime up our coils. That means to go ahead and put some liquid on top of the coils themselves so that it will actually saturate the cotton within the coil. There we go. So we want to make sure that that cotton is wet on the inside as well as on the outside. Because if not, then you might have some break-in time for your cotton. So I do like to do this with every single one. Oops, a little bit of side dribbage rolled right off. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and put on the chamber. Just lay that on with the grooves where they are cut out. Now you can actually leave it inside as well. I choose to do it this way so that I don't have to take the base off of the mod. And if you do it like that, then you don't actually have to take the base off. You can actually just screw it on together and leave it on your mod. So that is the way that I like to do it. And we'll go ahead and fill it. Again, a little half a turn there. And then we've got our filling ports there. And again, see how when it comes up, it'll literally go right into the slots. That part I really, really like about this. And then put the top cap back on. A little quarter turn, and we're all done. So that is the Zeus X by GeekVape. So let's go ahead and take it on top, pros, cons, and what I think about it. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Zeus X by GeekVape. So before anything, I'm gonna go ahead and have a vape. I do have the airflow currently all the way open. A lot of airflow. This is one of those RTAs that have a lot of airflow. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit so that you can see it like halfway closed. So I'll close it about halfway for you. That's pretty much my sweet spot on this RTA. All the way open, I feel like it's a little bit too airy. You're not getting as... You can't concentrate on the flavor as much as the airflow because it's so airy. I'm going to go over my cons on this, and there's not too many, so let's go ahead and do that. The bubble glass, I love, love, love the bubble glass, but I just wish that it had just a little bit more e-liquid capacity. 4.5 mils of e-liquid capacity to me is just a little bit small. I would have liked it maybe bubbled out just a little bit more to get maybe a mil or a mil and a half more of e-liquid capacity. The fill ports I feel are very small. For something like this, I just feel like they should just be a little bit wider. I like the little catch cup that is going around it because that way it catches all your e-liquid that you might spill out of those ports. I just wish that they were a little bit bigger. Also the airflow. The airflow has like an angular type of airflow. So if you do purge, you're going to get it near your face. It's not going to get in your face, but it can be near your face. So you want to make sure that they are actually on the sides of your faces. Not as bad as like when the dead rabbit was like literally touching your cheeks, but it does do that. So I just wanted to mention that because, well, that's what I'm here for. The glass, when you're taking off the deck and you already have juice in it, just be careful that you're holding it, the glass with the top together, because the O-ring is just a little tiny bit loose, so the glass could possibly come off. I haven't had that problem because I've noticed that right away when I was actually taking it apart to clean it and things like that, that it was a little bit loose. So I just want to mention that for you. That's pretty much it for my cons. For my pros, number one is going to be the airflow. If you like massive airflow for a dual coil RTA, you're really going to like this. I like it, even that you can cut it down halfway, you're still getting a lot of airflow. That to me is key. I love, love, love airflow. So even halfway, I feel like I've got a really great airflow. Flavor on this is really good as well. I know exactly what this e-liquid tastes like. I vape it a lot, and the nuances are always there. So every single bit of the nuances of the flavor are there. I haven't had any problems. Another pro is the colors that it comes in. I absolutely love this rainbow. This was sent to me by Brad's Vapor, by the way, for the purpose of this review. So you can check them out at bradsvapor.com. If you use the code WendyVapes10, you do get 10% off. I do like the flavor on this. Easy to build. It's literally drop-in decks. So if you get something like the coily tool, which I use for my builds when they have a postless deck, get something like this. It makes it a little bit easier. You can use anywhere like a 4 or a 4.5. Either way is going to do you great on that. Leak proof because of the top airflow. Because it is top airflow, you're not going to have to worry about, like, if you didn't wick it exactly right, is it going to leak out the bottom? You might get some gurgling. You might get a little bit of spit back if you do that, but you're definitely not going to get leaking, which is definitely a pro, because a lot of people do not like building on RTAs because the fact that the bottom does leak out and the juice comes all over the place if it's not done just right. So I think that that's great. The aesthetics of this, I think that it's very well machined. I think that it's just got a very, very clean look to it, and I just think that it's very, very sharp looking. Compared to the Zeus Dual, the original Zeus Dual, I like the looks of this a lot better. The other one was a little bit too straight, too forward for me. I like the colors that it came in, but I just felt like it just looked too, it's sort of like a round box, you know, it was too straight for me. I really love it now that they've incorporated the bubble glass. Even with the straight glass, it's still because of the designs that they have from the drip tip going all the way down like that. I feel like it just gives it a little bit of a better look. Coming with a bubble glass and a straight glass, that to me is also a pro, because some people like bubble glass, some people don't. So either way that you have it, you can actually do it that way. So I think that that's great. You can choose the type that you want. And again, the top airflow is great. Now this drip tip is very low profile compared to what I'm used to and what I usually like to vape on. But honestly, the way that your lips fit over the top of this, it's very, very comfortable. It literally just fits right over the whole mouthpiece. So I really like that. It also does not get hot. From chain vaping it, a lot of times on certain RTAs, depending on like if it's a bottom airflow and the build and things like that, sometimes the tops get hot when you've been vaping on it a lot. But in this one, it's not really doing that. So that to me is also a plus. And then of course, the airflow is very, very smooth. That honeycomb airflow inner chamber, I love that. I love, love, love honeycomb airflow. To me, it just makes it more smooth. It makes it more airy, in my opinion, and more flavorful. So I think that all of those things actually contribute to the great flavor and airflow that this thing has. The price right now, if I'm not mistaken, was like $29.99 or $30 to $35. Again, I did get mine from bradsvapor.com. You can go ahead and check them out and see about getting your own. Again, it does come in stainless steel, rainbow, matte gunmetal, matte black, blue, and red. The blue and red are absolutely phenomenal along with the rainbow. So I do recommend those. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. If you like the review, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.